to the Becoming She Who Handles Business live series. I am Shamandrian, and of course, I'm excited you are here all month. Okay, I don't know if we just went live, so I'm gonna start over. Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back to the Becoming She Who Handles Business live series. All month, I'm gonna be showing up and sharing with you different tips, different strategies, different things that God has placed on my heart in reference to becoming she who handles business, the woman who is building the legacy businesses or business that God has placed on the inside of her heart, but doing it in a way that is profitable, doing it in a way that allows her to have peace and time freedom and abundance, doing it in a way that allows her to make sure that she's in alignment with what God has called her to do in this season and as she continues to execute the things that God has given her. I'm super excited to be sharing with you all month. This is my birthday month, and one thing that I am extremely passionate about is just pouring out and giving to people. And also, this is Women's History Month, so what better way to serve for Women's History Month than by continuing to pour out to other women. So all month we're going to be diving into these different things that I use in reference to the frameworks in my business, when I'm helping clients in my membership, all these different things that help you to evolve into having that business that you dream about, having that life that you dream about, having the income that you desire, and the time freedom that you deserve. So for those of you who are new to me, hello, my name is Shamandrian, and I am a business growth strategist. I'm a mentor, I'm a speaker, and everything that I just said in reference to life and business is pretty much what I do, helping women to be able to grow in their business, to have profitable businesses, but to do it in a way that allows them to have that peace and that purpose and that time freedom, and to know that they're in alignment with God and the things that He has called them to do in this season. We have a membership that has a community of women where we get to just show up as women. We always plug into spaces where we are getting poured into in reference to just executing things in our business. We plug into spaces where we are the ones showing up and pouring out, pouring out, and pouring out. But we have to have spaces also that allow us to just show up and be poured into, good community, authentic relationship building, connecting with other people that are in the same space that you're in business as a woman, experiencing the same types of things, and just being able to be transparent as we grow together. So that's pretty much me. That's all that I do. Our podcast represents that, all of that in a nutshell. So today I wanted to share with you more about becoming the woman she who handles business, and focusing on purpose and positioning today. So yesterday we talked a little bit about what did we talk about yesterday? Now I'm having a brain block. Yesterday we talked about vision. Oh, okay. Beliefs. So sorry about that, y'all. I don't know. My mind went blank. And if you are tuning in live, please say something so I can say hi to you, because I would love to say hello and to chat with you. Let me make sure I have it up on my phone. But yeah, so yesterday we talked about beliefs. We talked about understanding that the difference in, setting goals and not being able to accomplish those goals because our beliefs aren't in alignment. And we also talked about how to shift those beliefs, shift our mindset, align ourselves more with the woman that we're desiring to become, in the business that we desire to have, and then also implementing habits so that we could evolve into that. So today I wanted to talk to you more about purpose and positioning. Here's the thing, right? When we get clear on what our business is and God has given us this vision and we're like, okay, God, this is what you want me to do. I'm ready to go and do it. And then we get out here and we start pushing and showing up, trying to do it, but we haven't gotten very clear on two things. Then you're always going to find yourself in a place of confusion. And those two things are purpose and positioning, right? Purpose, going deeper into purpose, is helping you to understand why you are doing this. What is the reason? And there's a few different points that we have to be clear on when we talk about purpose, right? Why are you showing up the way that you are called to show up in this season for yourself, for your clients, and then also what's the purpose behind it for God? Because a lot of times God's going to give us a vision. He gives us a heart to do something. I remember when I first got started in business, and my business was called Mom's Got Business to Handle. And it started from a place that I needed, right? I was working a 9 to 5, and I only had one child at that time, and I was pretty much a single mom at that time. And literally, the way that my life looked, I would wake up in the morning, I would get my son together, take him to before school, because then he had before school. I would take him to before school. I would go to work. He would go to school from before school. Then when school was over, he would go to after school. I would get off work. I would pick him up. I would take him home. And then as soon as we get home, it's time for me to make dinner, get him in the shower, get him in the tub, and then get him ready for bed. And that was a cycle, and it was a consistent cycle. But then I also knew that I had so many dreams on the inside of me. I knew that I wanted to, build a business. I knew that I wanted to connect with women. I knew I wanted community. I knew I wanted to make an impact. And God started to deposit Mom's Got Business to Handle into me. And I was just so passionate about believing that women should be able to execute all the things that God has placed on their plate, whether it be business, whether it be a job, whether it be taking care of your family, whether it be, being a mom, being a wife, all those different things. But we should still be able to birth our dreams and our visions as we're balancing all those things at one time. And so as I'm working this 9 to 5, I start feeling this desire and this pull to really be able to serve other moms that were experiencing the same thing, needing a space. Like, I knew I wanted to get out and go to networking events and pour into and learn about business and connect with other people, but I couldn't do that. Why? Because I had a little one. And so I started taking him with me into places, and taking him to networking events. And I started to figure out, hold on, maybe I should create a space for women like me, for moms who need to be able to plug into spaces that pour into them and allow them to do business and connect with other women, but in a way that allows them to bring their kids. And so that was where my purpose came from, right? It came from an assignment that God placed in my heart with a desire for business, but it also came from a place of need. I needed that. I wanted that. And I knew that there were so many other women that felt like they couldn't have their dreams. They couldn't have their vision. They couldn't have the things that they desired in their lives because they were mothers or because they had other responsibilities. And I wanted to be able to break those barriers down for them. And because I wanted to break those barriers down for them, I was willing to break those barriers down for me. And so a lot of times we have to, I need to stop saying that, but so we have to be very, very clear on what the purpose is so that we can be rooted, because here's what's going to happen. There's going to be, as you are going through the journey of entrepreneurship, the boat is going to rock, okay? The boat is going to rock, and there is going to be so many things that come up, obstacles that come up, especially as a kingdom or a Christian woman entrepreneur. There's things that are going to come up that kind of shake you, and they are put in place to, one, make you stronger, of course, but two, because the enemy wants to stop you from the assignment that God has placed on your life. And so as these different things are coming up, you're going to have something to fall on. You're going to have something that says, you know what, I'm going to push through and I'm going to move forward regardless, because I know the purpose and the assignment that's on my life. I know what's attached to my business. I know the lives and the transformation that's attached here. I know who I'm called to, and I know who I'm called to serve, and I know that they're depending on me. One of my good friends right now, she always brings up the story of how we really started to build our connection. And I had invited her, I had met her at some events before, but I had invited her out to one of the Moms Got Business to Handle events. We were doing a busy mommy meetup at the time. I think Tuesday, we would have this meetup at a Chick-fil-A, and women would come out, and I would talk to them about something, and we would connect, we would network, and our kids would be playing, and it was just a really, really cool environment, And one of the days, it was a Tuesday, and not many people know, but I have challenges with sleep. And so I was driving one day, And on my way to pick up my son, I had just left a speaking engagement and I was really, really tired. And I called up my fiance and I'm like, hey, I need you to just talk to me while I am driving because I'm getting tired. I got the window down, I got the music up. I just need you to talk to me because I'm getting tired and while I'm on the way to pick up my son. And so I'm driving. And then all of a sudden, boom, I fall asleep that quick. And when I fall asleep, I hit. And so literally, I was about 5 minutes away from the exit that I needed to get off of. So I just needed to get there. I was very close. And so there was um, a metal divider that separated the lane for the exit and then the lane to continue on the highway. And so as soon as I fell asleep, I ran head on into that metal divider, but because of the grace of God, instead of it hitting directly straight on, which would have allowed that metal to propel through the middle of my car and would have killed me, by the grace of God, my car shifted somehow and it tore up the front, but it went slanted towards my tire instead of straight on towards my engine. And so when the car hit that way, my car automatically turned and propelled towards a cement wall because reminder, I'm going off of an exit. And so my car propels straight towards a cement wall and it stops 2 feet away, less than 2 feet. I still have the pictures to this day, less than 2 feet away from that that cement wall. And I immediately wake up and I'm just screaming. And he's still on the phone because I'm still holding the phone. Like I've literally gone to sleep that quick. And so I fall asleep and I wake up and I'm screaming and I'm crying and I'm like, oh my God, I could have died. And I'm just screaming and I'm crying. He's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I fell asleep. I had an accident. And so I get out of the car. And immediately when I get out of the car and I run to the front of the car and I see the damage of that car and I see not only that God prevented the damage from killing me, but he also prevented me from hitting that wall 2 feet while I'm asleep. How do I stop this car while I'm asleep and it's 2 feet away from this wall? Because literally the entire front of that car, and I'm on the highway, the entire front of that car would have been smashed in and I could have been killed. So that's 2 ways God prevented me from dying in that car accident. And I jump out and I look and I'm hysterical because I'm looking at how God saved me and I'm looking at how I could have lost my life on this darn highway. And I'm crying and I'm thanking God. And I know immediately I started thinking about, I got to go get my son. And I'm supposed to have this busy mommy meetup tonight. And so I get on the phone, get my aunt on the phone. She helps me. She goes to get my son. And then I'm trying to figure out things and how I need to get my car to where it needs to be and how I can get what I'm going to do. And of course, the thought comes in my mind that I should cancel the meetup for tonight. But I didn't. I made a decision. I got my son. I Ubered to the Chick-fil-A and I showed up anyway. And when I showed up from a place ready to pour into other women, even though I had just gone through that thing, because there was purpose on it. I knew and I understood that I wasn't there to show up just for me, but I was there because I was showing up for the women who needed the same breakthrough that I needed. I knew that I had to show up because there were going to be obstacles. And if I'm encouraging these women that even when you have obstacles in your life, even when you have obstacles in your business, you're still going to have to push through. You're still going to have to tap back into what matters the most and push through. Then that means that I had to show up. And when I showed up that day, only one person showed up. I sat there for a while before she showed up and, contemplated going home, contemplated leaving. Like my body is all, in pain because I've gone through this horrendous accident and my son's shaking up and I'm shaking up and all of these different things. But I showed up anyway. And in that moment when she got there, I poured into her, not about my situation, but poured into her for what she needed. And I shared with her what had happened to me that day and the fact that I showed up to be there with her. That has started like a beautiful relationship. Shout out to Shauna. It started a beautiful relationship, but it was in that moment that I understood that, like we have to be tapped into a place of purpose. Because when different situations happen, oh hey Shavon. um when different situations happen, which they will come, you're going to have something to fall back into. And how does that relate to positioning? Right? When you know what God has called you to do, when you know that there are lives attached to what you do, and when you have a personal attachment to why you are doing what you're doing, then there's absolutely nothing that can stop you, and you're going to show up differently. You're going to position yourself in a way that you know that you're an authority in the space that you're in, even when the enemy's telling you you're not. You're going to position yourself and show up in a way that you know that you are called to be in that space, because there will be things that come up against you, but you will know the hand of God is on you. I mean, come on, y'all. The enemy tried 2 ways to stop me from just getting to that meeting to be able to pour into that woman. That's how I knew it was so much more in it than just me having these meetups. And I wasn't even making any money from the business then. I was just pouring out. I didn't even care about the money. I think the only thing that I had for them to be able to buy was some darn t-shirts or whatever event that I was hosting. It was solely based on purpose and solely based on me being obedient to what God had placed inside of my heart. But we position ourselves differently when we are tapped into what our true and authentic purpose is. We show up different in rooms. You show up with a space of boldness and a place of just audacity. Like you come in the room knowing that you're sent there. And that's how we have to position ourselves, right? There's more that I want to share around positioning, but it goes more into your who and your why, or not your why, but your who and who you're called to serve. But I think we're going to talk more about that tomorrow. But for today, I just want you to take some moments and just tap back into that purpose. Tap back into that why you're doing what you're doing. Tap back into the why God has sent you into the space that he sent you to do what he sent you to do. Because it doesn't matter if you're a candle maker. It doesn't matter if you're a beautician. It doesn't matter if you are singer, whatever it is that you do. There's a reason, a deeper reason that you're called to do what you're called to do. And I believe wholeheartedly that lives are attached to it, And so we have to be clear on that, not just for when the rainy days come so that we know, I got to keep going. But when other things come that cause confusion or opportunities that may not be aligned with you, everything getting a God opportunity. When we start to get confused, it's because we're stepping out of alignment. We're stepping out of alignment with that original purpose and what God said we're supposed to be doing. Understand that there are people waiting on you, waiting on what's on the inside of you. And when we're not showing up the way that we need to show up, we are hindering them. We're preventing them from being able to access what they need to go into their next level and their next season. So that's all I wanted to share today. I hope that it was a blessing to you, and continue to rock with me throughout the rest of this month in the Becoming She Who Handles Business series. If you are not already a part of our community, I want to invite you to be a part of our community. We have a free community, and then we also have our paid membership. And this space is an awesome and amazing space. Why? Because we are women that are coming together. We are learning together. We're being stretched. We're being poured into. We're expanding our capacity from a mental space, from a spiritual space, from a business space. And we're just executing on the visions that God has called us to do in this season. And we're doing that in a way that allows us to have our peace and our abundance. I don't believe that your business should have you burned out, overwhelmed, and overworked. So let's do this in a way that we can have the abundance that God has called us to. So I hope that you have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. I'll catch you again tomorrow at 11:30. And remember, you can handle it. Bye.